Wednesday night with Dr. Wallach, and we're so glad that you're able to attend and be a part of our meeting here. We have him for a very, very short time, and so I want to get right to him explaining and talking to us tonight, and then we'll get to questions and answers. So if everyone could just mute the phones, and we're going to give the phone call to him. Thank you, Dr. Wallach, for joining us.
Okay, thank you, Pam. Thank you, Dave. And always appreciate you and all the great things you do. And I'm very, very excited. We finally have this. There's a new bull in town, that 3 CD set. It's all done. They're stacked up at Wellness Publications, ready to go. So you can go to the website or our phone number. They forgot to put it on the website, so they're putting it on there as we speak. And so we can go to the phone number, okay, for Wellness Publications. And it's a 3 CD set. There's a new bull in town. That's because we want to be serious competition for Red Bull. Red Bull has 1 mineral in it, magnesium. We have 75 minerals. We have 75 minerals. Red Bull has 1, magnesium. We have 25 vitamins and amino acids. Red Bull has 4. Okay. And so it's one of those things where even the B vitamins in Red Bull, they use the what do you call it, where they take the stuff that they make B vitamins out of. It comes from fermenting wine and fermenting beer and stuff like that. Okay, and so brewer's yeast. There you go, brewer's yeast. Okay. The brewer's yeast, that's where they get it. You have to remember that you have to really have 90 essential nutrients, 60 minerals, 16 vitamins, 12 minutes to 3 fatty acids. And our Rebound, our sports drink, okay, has 75 minerals in it and 25 vitamins and amino acids. So we're very, very proud of that. 100 nutrients. It's the only drink out there with more than 5 or 10 different nutrients in there. For energy, because most of the energy drinks are primarily, we're looking at like maybe 80–85% sugar and caffeine. We have just the caffeine that's in the green tea that's in there in our Rebound. And we have Rebound in 3 forms. We have the sticks, okay. There's 30 of these sticks in a box. Okay, I put 2 or 3 of them in my pockets when I leave the house. I can just tear the top off, dump it in a bottle of water, and make my Rebound. Okay. We have the canister, has 36 servings in the canister, okay? And I don't take this on an airplane because they won't close it and they'll get all the powder all over your luggage and everything like that. And so I just use that at home. We have the cans, they're 12-ounce cans. We have 12 cans in a case. And the Rebound, okay, in cans has carbonation. So what I do is I pop the tops off, say 2 of them at bedtime, put them in the refrigerator. So when morning comes, after like 6 hours or 10 hours in the refrigerator, that bubbly is gone, so it's flat. Okay, all the carbonation is gone, and so but we do have carbonation available because there's a lot of the kids like the carbonation. Okay, and it's 100 nutrients and there's 75 minerals and 25 vitamins, amino acids. We're very, very proud of that. And excuse me. And so this is very, very important because right now we have so many athletes dying, okay, 2 or 3 days after an injury, on the field, on the court, whatever it is, it's just like crazy. And there's multiple factors, of course, but one of them is they don't have the nutrients. So anybody who's playing a sport needs to be on our Rebound. Anybody who has, been in an accident someplace or something like that and they're recovering, they need our Rebound. 100 nutrients, 75 minerals, and Red Bull has only 1 mineral, magnesium. You got to be kidding me. And so we came out with this information set. There are 3 1-hour CDs. There's a new bull in town is the title, New Bull in Town. And CD number 1 is Dead Athletes Don't Lie. Okay, that's self-explanatory. And it goes into about, I don't know, half a dozen famous professional athletes, Olympic athletes, well-known athletes, university athletes who are dying in their 20s and 30s and 40s, okay? And And part of the reason, of course, is they're not getting all the nutrients they need to fulfill their body's needs. Their heart needs nutrients, their kidneys need nutrients, their liver needs nutrients, their brain needs nutrients. And then the second CD is called, well, the first CD is called Dead Athletes Don't Lie. Repeat that, Dead Athletes Don't Lie. The second CD in the set is Exercise Without Supplementation of Suicide. There's so many people with a lot of money. They belong to these fitness centers, and they belong to these all kinds of gyms, and they get coaches, and they teach them how to exercise. But they don't stress the point that they need to take the 90 essential nutrients. When they're sweating out not only water, but they're also sweating out the nutrients, and they're dying, okay, at a very high rate. When you're looking at the life expectancy of professional athletes in America right now, it's 56.7. 56.7 for professional athletes in America. And then the third CD, which completes the CD set, is What Kills Billionaires. Billionaires, their life expectancy is 66.7. Now, they can afford the best medication, they can afford the best food, they can afford the best of everything. So why is their life expectancy only 66.7? And that's because they're not paying attention. They belong to these gyms, they exercise, they eat well, they go out and they'll have a $200 a piece meal, okay? Well, we're eating very well, so we're getting everything we need. No, that's not even close to true. You need to be taking these nutrients, okay? And so this is why we have the rebound, or should I say the rebound stable with the sticks, the cans, and the canisters, okay? And then it's one of those things where we also have the 90 essential nutrients. I'm 83 going on 84, and I take the Healthy Brain and Heart Pack, which has 215 nutrients, the core of which is the 90 essential nutrients. I take 2 of those a day, okay, one at breakfast, one at dinner time. I take the MSM, 3 of those twice a day, okay? And that has all the stuff in it that's necessary for cartilage, ligaments, tendons, connective tissue, disc between the vertebrae, bone makes bone itself, including the skull. And, and then I also take the collagen peptides, which is collagen from fish, poultry, sheep, and beef. And I take a 2 of that with my morning drink, 2 with my evening drink. And I also, let's see here, I take the vitamin D3, 3 of those twice a day to make sure I can absorb the minerals and put them all in the right place. And we also have, let's see here, athletes, I think it's athletes nutrition for joints or something like that, okay? So I also take that, okay? I take 3 of those twice a day. And so I want everybody to be smart and take these nutrients, stay away from the bad foods and maximize absorption. There's absolutely no possibility you can do this without supplementation. So you want to make sure you're getting into the minimum of the Healthy Bone and Joint Pack, which we made for Theo Ratliff because he had all kinds of fractures and bone arthritis. He's only 24 years old, and he was let loose from the Atlanta Hawks. We came up with a Healthy Bone and Joint Pack for him. He got his position back. He played for 11 years, made $100 million. So he likes it, okay? And so it's one of those things, if you pay attention to the details, you can have a long, healthful life and without any problems of disability and pain. And well, I'm growing old, so you have to expect to have a little bit of pain in your joints. You do not want to have double knee replacements. You do not want to have double hip replacements. You do not want to have any of that stuff, okay? And that's all caused by just lack of nutrition. None of it's genetic, and none of it is autoimmune, and none of it is due to age. It's all due to nutritional deficiencies. So this is not difficult. And so I want everybody to get involved. And don't forget this set. There's a new bull in town, That Athletes Don't Lie, Exercise Without Supplementation of Suicide, and What Kills Billionaires. Those 3 CDs, 1 hour each. And I think the set cost $10 for the set, plus shipping, whatever it is, a couple of dollars for shipping. Everybody needs to have that set, at least one set in the family, so everybody can listen to it, okay? It's one of those things where the information can add 25 to 50 healthy years to your life. Okay.
Okay. Thank you, Dr. Wallach. And so you make a very good point that if we had a lot of these reference manuals right there at home with us, we wouldn't have to, call up, the pharmacy or call the doctor, make an appointment, wait in there. And we would be able to do a lot more things at home. So to have those books, at home is a very good point. I have one question in regards to limiting sugar for a lot of people. And is it advisable to take sweeties with um, the rebound product?
Oh, well, yeah, I take sweeties. Okay, I don't have diabetes. I don't have reactive hypoglycemia, but I take sweeties. I take 3 of those twice a day. Okay, make sure that my body, every cell in my body has what it needs to manage sugar. There's a little bit of sugar in the rebound, which has like, I think a third, excuse me, it's one of those things where the sugar, I think that's where we're at before I was interrupted, okay, draws down on these nutrients. And so you have to pay attention. You have to make sure you're getting everything your body needs to deal with the sugar. Well, again, so when we came out with the rebound, compared to Red Bull, we have only like 10% of the sugar that Red Bull has. We only have 10% of the caffeine that Red Bull has. Red Bull has 1 mineral, that's magnesium. We have 75 minerals. Sometimes we have 78 because we have like 8 different sources of our minerals, which we control. Okay. And some of the mines have 75 minerals and some have 78. So never less than 75 minerals. Sometimes you get 78. And Red Bull only has 1 mineral, magnesium. And I think that they put that in there because a guy by the name of Bruce Lee, who is supposed to be the fitness guru for all the countries in the world when he was 25 years old, that's the only mineral he supplemented with was the magnesium. Okay. Everything else he just got from what he thought was, for instance, vitamin A, he just ate carrots. He didn't take vitamin A, he just ate carrots. And so it's one of those things where it's, I apologize for that. The neighbor's car is going off. Okay. And so I don't know how long that's going to go. But at any rate,
we can't hear it, Doc.
You can't hear it?
No.
Okay, good. So at any rate, I'm very excited about finally we've got the we've got the rebounds on the market for a long time, but the actual information, okay, is out there in this 3 CD set. I'm so excited about this because it's a lot cheaper than going to the doctor and asking those questions, and it's a lot safer. And so what can I say? Red Bull came out in 1987. Monster came out in 1985, 2 years earlier as Coca-Cola. Red Bull was from Austria, not Australia, but Austria. And one of the founders of Red Bull died just a couple of months ago at 78. And he was bragging until the day he died that he was drinking 10 cans of Red Bull a day. Well, maybe that's why they haven't released why he died. Who knows? Okay. And then Coca-Cola came out in 1985 with Monster. And then in 2001, Pepsi-Cola came out with Rockstar. In 2011, Youngevity came out with Rebound, our sports drink. So that's kind of the story. Okay.
Very good information, Dr. Wallach, and thank you for doing all the research. So, we could have longer living people and animals and fish and all that. So I don't know if everybody has known that. It's just kind of going around, again, that, all of the research that you've done, as far as the white rhino and the elephants and different things. So if anybody's ever gone to a zoo, can you tell us a little bit about what you've done to help the zoos?
Okay, well, first of all, of course, we saved the white rhino. There's only 350 left. And when I went to South Africa in 1965 to save them, I caught 250 of them, sent them to the big zoos and wild animal parks in the world, most of which were here in the United States. And then we built wild animal parks in South Africa so that we could, build colonies there. Well, today there's in the last census, which was a year ago, December a year ago, was 21,000. So we went up from 250 to 21,000. So we're very, very proud of that. Okay. And then let's see here. Also, we have to point out that when it comes to, let's see here, osteoporosis and arthritis, we figured out how to prevent and reverse that. Right now, we're spending something like $3 trillion a year just to treat the symptoms of osteoporosis and arthritis. Arthritis is 626.8 billion per year in the United States alone, just to treat the symptoms. And osteoporosis is 6.5 trillion in the world, but 2.3 trillion in the United States. So we're spending about $3 trillion a year just to treat symptoms of osteoporosis and arthritis. Crazy when you think about it. And of course, this is in the zoos. Another thing we did in the zoos, when I came back from Africa to deal with this big autopsy project, a big study. My thesis from that's in the Smithsonian Institute is a national treasure. Very proud of that. But Perkins gave me a list. He said, Marlon Perkins, the old Mutual Omaha Kingdom. So he said, look, these are things that I'm interested in. So before you start on this $20 million project, I want you to figure out what's going on here. First of all, every bear in the zoos in the world, and every zoo in the world, every country in the world was dying before, say, 30 years of age. They could live to be 60, but they're all dying in their 18 years of age, 20 years of age, 25 years of age. None of them were getting beyond that. Every species of bear. Okay, we're talking about Kodiak bear. We're talking about the bears from Alaska. Okay, the big white bears. We're talking about the black bears, brown bears, all over the world are dying of liver cancer. Is it a genetic disease in bears? And so what I found out was, it took me about 2 weeks to figure it out, that every zoo in the world was selling peanuts, okay, to their visitors so they could get money to pay the keepers and buy food for the animals. Okay. And it turns out that peanuts have the highest infestation, I guess is the word I'm looking for, infestation of a fungus called Aspergillus flavus. And Aspergillus flavus causes or produces a toxin called aflatoxin, which produces liver cancer. And so all these peanuts that people were feeding the bears in the zoo, because the bears would stand up and wave and people would throw the peanuts at them, they'd eat those infested peanuts and they get liver cancer. Whereas tree nuts are quite safe because they don't grow in the ground, and so that fungus doesn't infest tree nuts like pecans and almonds and that sort of stuff. Okay. And so it's one of those things where I was so proud to figure out that it was the peanuts and the aflatoxin in the peanuts that was causing liver cancer in all these different species of bears. Okay. When you look at it, it's kind of a simple story, but it took some thinking to figure it out. So those are the sort of things I was doing for zoos, figuring out those things. I also was able to make sure that they got more nutrition. Okay, when we came out with our products, okay, we came out with our products that have 90 essential nutrients in them. And so in animals and zoos that never reproduced before, suddenly now they're all having babies, normal babies, no birth defects, no babies being aborted, 2/3 or half away through pregnancy or anything like that. And so I'm very, very proud that we at Youngevity have been very, very big part of that. So great question.
Oh, we're grateful. We're very, very thankful for that. Okay, and as far as the Reeses Monkey, okay, and so there's a RH shot that's given to people after they have a child. How do those connect?
Okay, well, I'm not quite with you because I don't know what question you're asking me.
So there's a RH shot that women are given after they have a child.
Oh, you're talking about the RH factor. Okay, it's kind of a blood thing. Yeah, if you're not compatible with that, all your blood cells will die and you'll die. And so it's a RH factor. Okay, and so the studies and research was done in the Reeses monkeys. Okay.
And so what does it mean if they're positive?
Yeah, what does it mean when they're positive? Okay.
Yeah, the RH positive. They're
Yeah.
positive, they don't have it, right?
Yeah, if you're protected, okay? You're protected if you have the RH factor, okay? That's just a protection for you.
Okay. All right. So, and then as far as the aquariums, what types of things do we need to know about aquariums?
Okay, well, aquariums, I dealt with some fish, but I dealt mostly with whales and porpoises and sea turtles and things like that. And of course, they would get all kinds of diseases or nutritional deficiency diseases because they were just, feeding them chunks of meat or maybe some fish, that kind of stuff. And they weren't really getting everything they needed to maximize their lifespan. So, whales and porpoises and things were just living a couple of years in some of the big aquariums and stuff. Well, now they live 15, 20 years because they're getting all the nutrients, because we are putting all these nutrients in with the feed that we're giving them. Okay, so we're, if you're going to give them fish, then we fill the body cavity of the fish with all these vitamins and minerals that they're getting, because they weren't giving them vitamins and minerals in the early stages when they had whales and porpoises and sea turtles in aquariums, because they said, well, they're getting fish, just what they eat out in the wild. But no, it wasn't what they were getting in the wild, because these were fish that were maybe raised on a farm pond or something like that. They weren't getting all the time wild fish from the ocean were filled with seaweed and stuff like that. And so we had to make sure that they were getting all their, it comes down to, we had to find a way to get all the vitamins and minerals into them. And so that's how we were able to get survivability and healthfulness and reproductive activity in the seals and the porpoises and the whales and the sea turtles in aquariums. And so, I worked for some of the big aquariums in the world to help figure all that out.
Awesome. Okay. And so the sharks were coming in towards the mainlands. And why would they want to come closer towards the land? If you could explain that, something about the minerals coming down from the.
Well, sure. Well, the minerals are coming into the ocean through rivers and streams and surface runoff and stuff like that. Okay. And the algae and the seaweed in the shallow water was growing and sucking up all those minerals. And the fish that lived in that shallow water were getting more minerals than the ones who lived out in the deep sea, in the deep ocean. And so if you don't know where the fish came from that you buy from the store, so that's why we said, look, you have to supplement properly. You have to supplement properly, and that way it doesn't matter where the fish came from, because you're getting your 90 essential nutrients, and anything you get from the fish is a plus. Okay, you can't depend on what was or was not in the fish, because it's going to be highly variable. You couldn't depend on what may or may not be in there.
Okay, good information. I see we have some new people came on to the call. Does anybody have any questions? We're getting down to the very last minutes here. You can go ahead and unmute.
Hello?
Yes.
Do we have a question?
I don't see anybody with their hand.
I got a question about the bottlenose. Was it the bottlenose dolphins that were getting the enlarged hearts in the aquariums?
Yeah, the bottlenose dolphins
They
were getting congestive. They're getting congestive heart failure, which is a deficiency of a single vitamin. So we were, once I found out what they were dying from, we were putting these vitamins and minerals into the fish they were being fed, and making sure that the fish they were eating didn't have any enzymes in them that were destroying B vitamins. And that's where we came up with our program called De-Stress Capsules. It was designed for the congestive heart failure in bottlenose dolphins, because they were being fed all these fish that had the enzymes in it that were destroying the B vitamins.
Now, was that sardines that have that enzyme?
No, it wasn't sardines. It was the millet,
Okay.
little millet fish.
I'll say it again.
Millet.
Millet fish?
Yeah.
Huh, okay. Interesting. Kind of like the millet grain.
Okay.
And so we have
All
two
right.
different, and can you explain a little bit about the two different oceans that we have products from, the Ocean's Gold and then the Z Radical, I believe?
Okay. Well, Z Radical and Ocean's Gold come from two different oceans. And both of them have, I think, like 8 or 9 different algae and plankton and seaweed in them. And of course, the Z Radical is a liquid form, and the pill form of that Z Radical is fucoid Z. But they all come from the Z Radical and the fucoid Z come from the same ocean. They're just one's a liquid, one's a capsule. And the Ocean's Gold comes from another ocean, and it's a tablet. And I have 3 of those twice a day. And I have 3 of each twice a day. So I don't take a chance. Which ocean? I take it from both oceans. And I probably about 75 different products a day. I take 2 healthy brain and heart packs. I take 2 bottles a month of the MSM. I take the collagen peptides. And I take all these other things. I take 75 different products to make sure I'm getting everything I need. And most people think I'm in my 50s when they look at me and see my activity levels. And it's one of those things where I guess in about 4 or 5 months, I'm going to turn 84. Okay. And so it's one of those things where you can add 25 to 50 healthy years to your life. The record in the industrialized nations is France, a woman by the name of Jean Calment, well documented. She died at 122 years and 164 days. That was 1997, well documented. Okay. The Hunzas lived to be 120. That's well documented. And so this is why we went with the mineral sources that we have for Youngevity, because we didn't want to just have limestone like everybody else used and things like a clay that you grind up and put in your vitamin mineral supplements. We wanted something different. Why were these people, their life expectancy is 120? That's what we want. We want to know what they're doing. And so we spent 5 years putting all this together, okay, to make sure we got it right. And we have 8 sources of these minerals, never less than 75. And some of those sources are 78, depending on which source they come from for a particular batch of products. Okay, but never less than 75. So we're very, very proud of what we've done. And we help add so many healthy years to people's lives that, and again, I want everybody to get a hold of this 3 CD set. There are 3 1-hour CDs. Okay, this is very, very simple stuff. Okay, there's a new bull in town. 1 CD is Dead Athletes Don't Lie. The second CD is Exercise Without Temptation of Suicide. And the third CD is What Kills Billionaires. Those 3 CDs, the information in them, and utilizing the Youngevity products can add 25 to 50 healthy years to your life. Eliminate so many diseases. We can eliminate 600 different diseases. I'll repeat that. We can eliminate 600 different diseases, which doctors want you to believe are genetic and are autoimmune. And that's why my thesis is in the Smithsonian Institute. They would sell brand new for $25,000 each. So we came out with a summary of it. They're epigenetics. Okay, epigenetics, the death of genetic theory of disease transmission. And that sells for $25. Everybody can afford $25. That's Epigenetics, the book. Okay. And of course, there's a CD that can go along with it if you want the CD also. So all I can say is we work very hard and we're saving millions of people every year. We're very proud of that.
We're grateful, very, very grateful to you, Dr. Wallach, for all the research. And if anybody's got one last thing to say here, we got right at the top of the hour. So thank you very much, Dr. Wallach, for joining us.
Okay, thank you for doing this over and over and over again. We appreciate it. It's a great what should I say, thing that you're doing to save so many people, get the information out there. We can't thank you enough. God bless.
Thanks, Doc. Love you. Happy New Year.
Thanks, Zach.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
See you
Thank you.
Monday.
Thank you, thank you, thank you,
Have a
Pam.
blessed
Thank you,
evening.
Dave.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bless you all. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.